Hi everyone, welcome to the walkthrough video for the household management and vehicle maintenance calendar template. If you haven't purchased this template, I will leave a link in the description box so you can go ahead and grab a copy. Before we jump into the demo copy of this template to show you how it works, I want to show you what the template looks like when you purchase it. The first tab will be an instructions tab. Here you'll find my contact information as well as a detailed step-by-step guide that can help you get started with using this template. The next tab will be the setup tab, and here's where you get started with setting up your template. Then you have the task tab, which will mostly be empty. I did leave one example here to show you how things go. And then you have an overview tab, which would mostly be empty with a few placeholders, again, just to show you how information can be put in this tab. And then we'll move over to the monthly template, which would mostly be empty except for the tasks that will show up here based on the tasks that we have entered here. Now I'm going to switch over to the demo copy to show you how it works. Alright, we are in the demo copy of this template. We're starting with the setup tab. The first area here gives you additional information on what to do in the setup tab. So it starts with directing you to this area, which is where you would actually go through the steps that you need to do in the setup tab. So if you check this box here as instructed, it will highlight the areas that you need to set up. The first is to select the start year and month right here. And here's where you select the month and the year that you want to get started with. Selecting the day here will display your calendar either as a Sunday start or Monday start. So here is what the overview looks like. So because we selected January 2025, it's going to go from January all the way to December 2025. If I go back here and change it to August 2025, now when we go to the overview, it says August 2025 to July 2026. So it always starts with a month and the year that you select plus consecutive months. And here you can see that we have the Monday starts because that's what we selected in the setup tab. If I change this Sunday start, when we go to the overview, now you can see that the calendar shows up as Sunday start here, in addition to showing up as Sunday start right here. All right, so now that we have done this, we can cross it off. So that's the first task here. And then you can see that the highlight color disappears as we check off these items. So we've also selected the week start day, so we can check this off as well. Next would be to select our priority label right here. So here are the icons. You have different colors that you can select from to add to this label. So when we select the icon and type in the label here, it will create the priority based on the combination of this cell and this cell. So if I wanted to change this to something else, such as not important, and hit enter, you can see that it will now combine information here with the new word here. If I change the color to something else like black, now you can see that the priority has been set to not important with the color that I have selected here. So go ahead and do this for all of the labels that you want to create your priority list and check it off when you're done. Now that you're done with this step, now you can add your categories. The categories is how you would organize your task in the task area and display them in your monthly calendar. You have 24 categories that you can add into the category area. Once you're done, check that off, and as you can see, the setup process has been completed. Now we can move on to the next tab, which is the task tab. Here is where you will set up all of your one-time or recurring tasks. We'll start with the overview area here, and then we'll work our way down. Here is a distribution of categories. So remember, in the setup tab, we added our categories. Here is where it would summarize the categories based on the task that we have assigned to it. And then here is a distribution of frequency. We have different frequencies that we can assign to a task, and it will be summarized here. Let's scroll down to the task area. The first column is where you would enter your task. The next would be your categories, and here is where you would enter your frequency. You have several frequencies to choose from. Of course, you have the most common ones such as once, daily, every weekday, every weekend, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually. But you also have some specific ones that would allow you to select a frequency for things like every Monday. If you select this frequency, the task will show up on every single Monday once a week. If you want a task to show up on, let's say, the first Monday once a month, you can do so as well, and you use these frequencies right here. Here's where you add your start date. This is where you want the task to start showing up on your calendar. And if you want the task to end after a certain time period, you can add an end date. If you don't add an end date, the task will continue to show up in your calendar. And finally, here's where you add some notes. Another thing I want to point out with this table is that you can filter your task. Let's say you have a really long list and you have a lot of one-time tasks that you have completed. What you can do is go to your frequency, click on the filter icon, check off once, click OK. Now it's going to show the list of tasks without the once frequency. You can do the same for any other column in this area by clicking on the icon next to the column and selecting your filter criteria. Now I want to show you is some of these special frequencies and how they work. If you select once, it shows up once. You don't even have to add an end date, and it would only show up once in your calendar. The other ones are very self-explanatory. So daily would be once daily. Every weekday would be Monday through Friday. Every weekend would be Saturday, Sunday. Weekly would be once a week, things like that. If I wanted a task to show up every Monday, I can select this, select the week start date. So the 11th is Monday, so that would be fine. And let's say I only want this to last for 1 month. So I would go all the way to September, select an end date of September 8th, and then it would show up every Monday until September 8th. Let's go with another example. Every first Monday of the month, I want to complete this task. This is what you're going to use. You're going to select the first weekday. The first weekday can be used for the first Monday of the month, the first Tuesday of the month, first Wednesday of the month, etc. If you want the second Monday of the month, you would use the second weekday. The third Monday of the month, the third weekday. The fourth Monday of the month, the fourth weekday. I'm going to select the first weekday because I want it to be the first Monday. And now what you're going to do is select Monday here. If you select Tuesday, it will be the first Tuesday of the week every month. If you select Wednesday, it will be the first Wednesday. So all you need to do is select the frequency. So first, second, third, or fourth. Then when you get to the start date, you would select the actual day you want that frequency to occur. So again, I'm going to do Monday because I want it to be the first Monday of the month, and I want it to continue in perpetuity. Now that we have a variety of frequencies selected, let's see what it looks like in the monthly tab. So this says month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 12, and this is because the months that you're going to select here are going to vary. So once you have selected your month, and your first month is August 2025, now you can go here and rename this August. So all you need to do is double click here, type August, hit enter, and now the month here matches the month here. For the next one, you can see it's September, double click, rename it September, and now here's what it looks like. So you would do this every single month to make sure that the month that you have selected here matches the months that you want to show up here. All right, so here's what the monthly tabs looks like. I'll show you a quick overview of what it is, and then we'll go over exactly how it works. Here says August 2025. This is the current month for this tab. And here are some drop downs that you can use to highlight and sort things in your calendar. Right here is a reminder of your different priorities, the one you set up in your setup tab. And here are links. So if you want to go back to your task area, you click here. If you want to go back to the overview, click here. The task will be summarized here. So you have your task name, the category, and the frequency. You can see right now it's sorted by category. If you want to change it to alphabetical, switch to alphabetical. And now the tasks will be organized in an alphabetical order, going from B all the way down here to W. Here's the calendar area. This would allow you to display 10 tasks per day. You can enter the task as many times as you want, but in one day, only 10 tasks will be displayed. So if you have maybe 2 daily tasks or 2 weekly tasks or 1 monthly tab, you can combine in whatever combination you want. But in each day, you cannot display more than 10 tasks because you only have 10 slots in the daily section. I'm going to show you why we have some of these yellow. This is a highlight, and this is based on the category that you have selected. So here I have cleaning category selected. So what this is doing is instructing this area to highlight any task here that falls under the cleaning category. You can also see that the highlight is applied here. So everything that's cleaning is highlighted here. Let's change it to home organization. So I'm going to select home organization in the highlight task category area. And now you can see home organization tasks are highlighted here as well as in this calendar right here. And this allows you to pay closer attention to those tasks. For each task here, you can assign a priority. So what you can do every day or every week or every month, depending on what your work style is that you can add priorities to each task. So let's say for this day, I only have this task, so I can add a priority. So let's say this is high priority. I can look for the color for high priority, which is this orange color, and assign it here. And this gives you a visual of the priority for that task. You can do this for every single task in this calendar. And what this also allows you to do is once you add your different priorities to the task, like I'm doing right here, it's going to set up your weekly summary area. Your weekly summary area is going to summarize all of your tasks based on priority. So you have your tasks that are completed and the tasks that are not completed. If it's completed, you would see that the number would be displayed under this column. If it's not completed, it would be displayed under this column. So for this week, we have 5 tasks and none of them have been completed, which is why they're displayed right here. So I have this task, which is medium priority right here to organize the garage, and it says it hasn't been completed. Once I check this off, you can see now that it crosses it off here and it moves it from the non-completed column to the completed column. That way I can keep track of how my week is going based on the tasks that I have completed based on priority, and I can also visualize the results right here in the form of this chart. Okay, and then you'll repeat the same steps for the next month. All the monthly tabs work exactly the same. All you need to do is rename the tab with the month name here, add your priorities, and cross them off as you complete them. The next is the overview tab. Think of this tab as a place that you will use to plan your year or your quarter or your month. Dump in your ideas, and once you figured out all the things you want to do, Then you take these ideas and transform them into tasks and place them in the task area. So anything you place here is not going to transfer over into the calendar. It just gives you a place to add in things that you want to work on throughout the year. So you can add things like important dates, so birthdays. If you have projects you want to work on, you can add the projects here and the dates you want to complete them, your vehicle registration and inspection dates, and anything else. You can change these headers, by the way. You don't have to use the ones here. These are just examples that I have placed here as placeholders. All you need to do is delete this and type in whatever title you want to type in here and the examples that go under that title, and then double click here to select a date. All right, this section right here is also going to be used for planning. The difference between this section and this section is that this would focus on monthly goals. So you have your month here, August 2025, which is the month that we selected to start the calendar, August 2025, right here. And then you can type in all of the goals you want for August. So once you type in your goals for August, then you can create tasks from these goals and add them to the task tab, because remember, this is a planning area. Whatever task you add here is not going to be transferred over to the calendar. Once you've written down your goals for the month, then you can take that and convert them into actionable tasks that will be added into your calendar. So you can repeat this for every single month, and then once it's done, you can cross it off and move on to the next month. We have month 1, month 2, and month 3. And then here we have month 4 through 6, 7 through 9, and 10 through 12, July 2026, which is the last month in this range. All right, so that brings me to the end of this walkthrough video. If you have any questions, remember my contact information can be found here. If you haven't purchased this template, I will leave links in the description box so you can go ahead and grab a copy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.